Daughter, the Lord says there is danger in your husband's house. I see betrayal. I see a strange woman.
The first time Prophet Isaiah called her out, the entire church was surprised. Daughter, the Lord says there is danger in your household. Hada froze. She had only been married for 8 months. 8 beautiful, peaceful months. Her husband, Chima, was not a perfect man, but he was kind. Soft-spoken. A provider. Protective. The kind of man who would wake up at 3 a.m. to pray over her quietly when she had nightmares. But now the prophet's voice thundered again. I see betrayal. I see a strange woman around your husband. I see darkness in your marriage. You need 3 days alone prayer session, the congregation murmured. And just like that, doubt was planted. That night, Hade didn't sleep beside her husband. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling. What if God is warning me, she whispered. Chima tried to hold her hand. She gently pulled away. That was the beginning of everything. A week later, the prophet called her for a private prayer session. His office smelled like incense and control. Your husband is spiritually weak, he said, shaking his head. If you don't disconnect from him temporarily, the vision I saw will happen. Disconnect, she asked. Yes. No intimacy. No emotional attachment. Let him suffer small. That is how God will correct him. Ada cried. She fasted. She withdrew from her husband. Chima begged to know what he had done wrong. She only said, it's spiritual. You won't understand. And slowly their marriage began to crack. What Hada didn't know was this: the prophet had wanted her from the day she joined the church. Her beauty. Her innocence. He watched the way she honored authority. He watched the way she feared God and carried herself. And he realized something dangerous. If he could control her faith, he could control her life. So he invented visions. Invented dreams. Invented prophecies. All to isolate her from her husband. Months later, Chima stopped begging. He packed a small bag. I don't know which God told you to hate me, he said quietly. This isn't the woman I married that I know for a fact. That was the first time Hade felt fear. Not spiritual fear. Real fear. The fear of losing something real. The exposure. Everything unraveled on a Tuesday afternoon. Hada arrived at the church earlier than expected. She walked toward the prophet's office. The door was slightly open. And inside, he was laughing. Not praying. Laughing. With one of the elders. The women in this church are to die for, especially Hada. I just told her I saw another vision, he said, amused. These women will believe anything if you attach God said to it. Her jaw dropped. She couldn't believe her ears. Everything suddenly made sense. The coldness. The fear. The control. There was never a vision. Only manipulation. That Sunday, the church was full. But Hada stood up during testimony time. Her hands trembled. Her voice broke. I want to testify, she said. The prophet smiled confidently. Until she continued. I want to thank God for revealing enemies of my marriage. There was no vision. There was no warning. Only lies used to destroy my marriage. The room exploded into whispers. She told them everything. The private sessions. The instructions to withdraw from her husband. The fear tactics. The prophet tried to interrupt. But this time, she wasn't afraid. The church board suspended him pending investigation. Members were divided. Some believed her. Some called her rebellious. But that night, she went home. Chima was sitting quietly on the couch. She knelt in front of him. Not because a prophet told her to, but because she chose to. I'm sorry, my love, I let fear speak louder than your love, I allowed another person's opinion to guide our home, she said softly. He didn't answer immediately. Healing is slower than damage. But he reached for her hand. And this time, she didn't pull away. He said, "It's two of us against the world, my darling. Sometimes the most dangerous words in the world are not lies. They are the words, 'God told me,' when God never did."